Oh, snap. Did you guys know that when you click the button now for recording, Zoom has an update. It says this meeting is being recorded. So what do you know? We know we're live recording now. There's no questions about it. She gives us a little prompt. We are talking today about what? What is our training talking about today? Who read the headliner there in our email or in your text that came through from KV Core? What are we talking about today?
Net sheets.
Oh, mercy, Felipe, thank you. Whew, I was holding my breath, and if I was about to pass out on the screen. Do I got to give out a gift card for every question? Mercy. Come on, guys. Talk to me. Yes, we're talking about net sheets. And how many of us in the room right now have a go-to? Like easy, you can get that sucker in, let's say, less than 3 minutes. A net sheet for your seller or a cost analysis for your buyer. Who's got one? Share it with me. Mighty Soul, what you got for me? You got one?
No, I do not.
Okay, all right. Danny Garcia, you got one for me, boss. Oh, it's quiet over there. No worries. You know what? How many of us, if you need a net sheet, go to escrow. For your seller, you need an escrow and you go, or you need a net sheet and you call escrow. Is that what we do? Is that our standard practice? Most of us, maybe?
That me and Joseph, but through Fidelity, their app, they actually have net sheets right on their app. So you can just use their app now.
Look at that. Looks like Danny's been checking out his technology. We're going to go over that today. Yes, sir. I do know that many of us, especially for our seller side, we like to go to, I used to go to escrow all the time. They've got a net sheet that you would, a document you'd fill out and you say, hey, I need a net sheet on this property here, and you'd send them the information. Well, by the time you type that email, right, or take that information over to escrow, whatever you're doing, you could have actually produced your own net sheet. Did you know that? So I'm going to show you how to do it today. There's a couple of different apps that are there and some programs that I've utilized. Each one's got its own features that are great, and we're going to go over all of them today so that you're familiar with that. What I'm going to do first is share with you, there's three. We're going to go over three today. Just so you know, I want to make sure that we don't miss anything because everybody has a different way that they like to do business. So I don't want to say, here's the way that you should do business the way I do it. I want to make sure that their options are out there for all of us. And so our first one that we're going to look at right now is going to be none other than our car forms. All right. So if we zip over here in this car or zip forms, whatever you want to call it, you can jump in here. We're all familiar with our little tabs. And so we'll go into the seller training tab that we've created. And in here, who knows what the name is for the document for the net sheet here? Anybody have an idea? If you were searching it, how would you find it?
Net sheet?
Oh, nobody knows. It's okay. I didn't know either. I looked it up. They actually call this bad boy. Go over here to documents, scroll down to the bottom, and on the seller side, it's called the estimated seller's proceeds. Now, if you look at this document that I've got on the screen for you, kind of blow it up a little bit. Hopefully it stays that way. Doesn't shrink like it's done in the past. Nope, it's going to shrink. Whatever. If you look at this document right here, there's a bunch of blanks to fill out, right? So not only do we need to have, sorry, I can't keep it big because it just shrinks down. I don't know why it does that on a Zoom share for this particular platform. You've got to have here projected closing date. We've got sales price here. We've got, what is this? Current annual property taxes and the rate. Now, yes, there are places that we can go to get that, but that's going to take time. Monthly homeowners dues, if any. Then we get down here, interest to pay off first loan, second loan, primary, or is it prepayment penalty? That doesn't really exist most of the time. We've got escrow fees. What are the escrow fees? Title insurance policy fees. Oh my goodness. Property taxes, homeowners dues, closing costs, wood destroying pests, other inspection, home warranty. Oh man, that's a lot of information to put in, right? So I've got to go collect all this information and put it into the document. Now, again, I was originally shown this is where I could do it for myself. So maybe you've seen this estimated seller's proceeds in the past, and maybe you've used it, but it is quite cumbersome if you ask me, and it requires quite a bit of work to kind of put all this together. So I really wasn't a fan. Also in here, in case you wanted to know, they have what's called the estimated buyer's cost as well. So you're out showing homes, right? And your buyer's looking at it. And so let's give you a hypothetical. You're showing homes. Marisol, I like the flower. Maybe that's why I pick on you. I don't know. It's just really cool. It stands out. Marisol, you're out showing property, and your purchase price is $550,000. And you're looking at property in different communities. Some of them have higher taxes than others. Some of them have HOAs. And your client says to you, we're qualified for $550,000. How much would the payment on this home be? Do you have a solution, or could you provide for them what that would be at the house?
I wouldn't know how to.
And most of us wouldn't know how to if we don't come to trainings, but you're here, which is great. So you're actually going to walk away from this training knowing exactly how to do that touch of a button, okay?
Mhm.
Because how do I calculate all of that information, right? Well, one thing that I want to show you guys, and I didn't plan this initially, but we're not going to go anything further over the estimated cost. This is similar to the one that we saw for the seller. We're not going to fill in all that information. Okay? We're not going to do it. So, but something that I do want you to know in regards to showing property to buyers and helping them see what the cost analysis would be for their monthly payment is when you are in, we're going to go to the matrix. We're going to dive in there real quick. We'll use this screen. All right. Here in the matrix, boom. Go to our home screen. Boom. We're going to go to search out some residential properties. We're going to go to coming soons and actives. We'll just use Temecula. Why not? 140 homes. There we go. Go to our results. We're going to just grab this first home real quick. There we go. So all homes are not created equal, believe it or not, because there's this thing called property taxes, special assessments. Okay. I can have a home in one community that has a 1% tax rate and a home in another community that has a 3% tax rate. That drastically would change the the monthly payment on that home. So answer me this question, Danny. If a property tax was 1% on a $500,000 home, what would that be in dollar amounts, and what would that property tax be on a $500,000 home if it was 3% annually? Question again. I know I'll give you some numbers there. What would the property tax be on a home that's selling for $500,000 at 1% versus the property tax on a home that's selling for $500,000 at 3%?
Give me a second. Let me put it into my calculator. The
Oh,
3%.
man, I'm not playing no games and punches into the calculator to get the right numbers. Danny, a second on that one. While he's doing that, we're just going to drop into this screen. See some property taxes right here. All right. While Danny's popping that up, right here where it says special assessments. Oh, let me show you guys where I went. Let me go back. So any property that you're looking at on the MLS, you can go right in here under the parcel number. You click that tab, and it's going to take you to the the assessments that are there. Someone's saying something in my chat box. Hang on a second. Let me open this up. All righty.
It's just me. I'm cheating. I'm giving them the answers.
Well, anybody's dropping the answers in the box. Uh-oh. Who's gonna read those answers off to me? Wait, no.
Already did.
Who read the answers off? I didn't hear. Who read the answers off?
Me, Marisol.
What were the answers?
Oh, it looks like for the 1% it would be 5,000 a year, and for the 3% it would be 15,000 a year.
Okay, let's keep our calculators running. How much would it be for property taxes monthly on that home, both homes? So the first home property tax, this is just property taxes. This is not your principal. This is not your interest. We're talking specifically property taxes. Okay, what's the property tax going to be, the difference between those two homes? Somebody tell me monthly what you're paying.
So for example, the first one at 5,000 a year divided by 12 months, to give them a rough estimate, you're looking at $417 a month.
Okay, 417 bucks. That's property taxes. So what's it going to be? Who's got the next one for me? At
50,
the 3%.
1,250 for the 3%.
Oh, mercy. 1,200.
That's somebody living in Menifee. 15,000 a year taxes.
Audie Murphy
Oh, yeah.
Ranch. It's tough out there. All right. Maybe north side of Lake Elsinore over there. They got some high taxes out there as well. This is a critical piece for you when you're talking to your clients and you're showing them properties. As you see on the screen that I'm sharing right now, what you'll see here is total special assessments. This home here has a $884 special assessment annually. All right. That's going to be very low taxes. All right, that's going to put them right in that rate of like 1.2%. All right, very low taxes on something like this. All right, what happens is, let me bounce back out real quick. Let me see if I can find a home here. I need to run over to, I probably should have done this. Let me go back to criteria. We're going to go into Murrieta real quick. We're going to go to the map, show you some high tax homes real quick. I don't like this screen. There we go. We're going to slide on over to this place called Spencer's Crossing. Not sure if you've hung out over there or not before. All right. So just grab a random home in Spencer's Crossing. And there's that number. $4,179 in annual special assessments. Okay. So see, those numbers are real that we're giving you guys. So high taxes over there in Spencer's Crossing. So when someone's looking at a home, it's very important that you know what these numbers are for the areas that they're looking, because you're going to input that into the software that we're going to talk about now in regards to showing them what it's going to look like. Okay. So talking about that for the buyer's side. So here we go. I'm going to take you over to, where'd you go? I think I actually closed it on accident. That's okay. I'm gonna take you over to My First America. So if you've never used My First, there's Lawyer's Title, there's Fidelity Title, there's First Am, there's Ticor, I don't know. There's so many title companies out there. Everybody's got an app or a platform. You find the one that works best for you. I'm going to share with you the ones that I have found in my years to be the easiest to use and provide the best data right out the gate. So we're going to jump right on into My First Am. So if you don't have an access to the portal like this, talk to Patty Sather. She's my connection over there. So you come in here, you go to calculate, you go to cost first. Now you open up cost first. It should open up another window for us here. And that other window brings me over here to some net sheets. So I've got a buyer net sheet and I've got a seller net sheet. So because we were talking about buyers just now, let's jump on over into the buyer net sheet. So here we go. We talked about this. We got data to put in. The fortunate thing is some of this data is actually going to populate on its own. Watch what happens. So we're going to say, let's just pick an address. I don't know, 40061 Milkwood Lane. It's a random house, right? And we're going to say that we're going to purchase that home for $550,000. Why not? Boom. This program will actually put together for you. Now, again, you're on your laptop right here. We're not on our phone. We're on our laptop. It's going to provide for you what that client is going to need to bring to close and what their payments are going to look like. All right, here we go. This is a 90% loan. So it's 10% down on this one right here on a conventional type loan. Their interest is at 4.25. You could change it to 3.125. I don't know what their interest rate's going to be. All right, it's going to populate all of that information for you. It's going to tell you over here their total investment that they're going to need cash to close. All right, $74,000. All right, I share this with you because when you come into My First Am, it's got two. It's got the buyer side and it's got the seller side. Now this one here, you can go in and you can work some numbers that give you some escrow settlement. It's already going to get the title or the lender's title policy. It's going to get some origination fees. It's going to drop in there some processing fees. You can put in the home warranty. You can put in the notary signing, the new loan service. There's a whole bunch that you can just go in and change on the fly. This one's kind of cool. I don't believe that it's the best platform for you when you're out showing property to clients because I'm using this on my laptop. Makes sense? And typically want something that's a little bit more mobile friendly. We do have a mobile app. We'll get a second to show you that as well. What that looks like, I just don't find that this one here is the best one. What happens when you have all this data, you can simply go here to hit text message and you can text it to them, or you can actually print it out. Detailed estimate, that pops up on the screen. It'll show you what that looks like as well. You can print it out, or you can even shoot it as an email over to them as well. But again, we're out showing property. Yes? When I'm out showing property, I need to be able to, on the fly, show you what this is going to look like, because what they're pre-approved for is not necessarily the most important number that they want to know. Is how much their payment is going to be, right? Would we agree with that? I'm pre-approved for, $500,000. What does that look like on a payment for that particular home? Believe it or not, your lenders need to know that as well, because they can say you're pre-approved for $550,000, but you went and found the highest taxes with the highest HOA, and so now they're actually pre-approved for $475 because of that difference between taxes and HOA. So you're going to be able to share this with your clients as you're out showing them homes. All right. So that's the first one here for First Dam on the buyer side. Now, I'm not a huge fan of that one. It's okay, but I want to give you options. We first looked at the car options or the zip form options that are there. They require you to put in every single detail. This supplies you a little bit more. You don't have to put in all those details. But this one right here, the seller's net sheet. Now, this one here is the one we're all asking escrow about on a regular basis. I'm sure we don't know how to show. I'm selling my home, right? I want to know how much money is going into my pocket when we close. So what fees are there when we sell a home? Talk to me, Victor. What fees are associated with the sale of a home? I think Victor's awake. No? Victor's not there? Oh, we're going to have to go back to Heidi. I see Heidi on the screen.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, there we go, Victor. What costs are associated with selling a home?
Closing cost?
Okay, what are closing costs?
Oh, that's like oh gosh, I'm having a blank.
No worries.
Drawing a blank.
Closing costs
MEP.
comes down to, we're talking about insurance fees, we've got lender fees, we've got title fees, we've got escrow fees. What's a big cost? Probably the largest cost, not probably, the largest cost typically for selling a home for a potential homeowner or a seller of a home. What's the highest, the largest cost that they have? Who's got the answer for me?
Commission.
Felipe is giving you guys all the right answers, man. The commission, right? The commission is the largest cost that they have when they sell a home. And so you need to be able to show them what that is. So in this wonderful, class, I haven't found one better personally myself for the seller's net sheet. So here we go. This is what's going to happen. We're going to put in that same address, 40061 Milkwood Lane. That worked. Let's say they're going to sell it for $550,000. Okay. This is a tool that I can't stress enough. You guys need to know how to use this. Let's say they owe on this home, I don't know, maybe they owe $250,000 on it. All right, that's all you need to know on here. All these other boxes, don't need to worry about. If they have a second, let's just make it a second. Why not? Let's say they owe $50,000 for some solar that they need to pay off, right? Make up some stuff. All right, so there's their total that they owe $300,000. It actually automatically populates for you the property taxes. You don't have to worry about that bad boy. It's already going to put in the escrow fees for you. The owner's title fees are going to be populated for you. The transfer tax, the notary fee, the reconveyance fee, all that's there. What you can do is you can see pest control report. So leave that at, I don't know, 95, $100 is what those costs. So leave that on there for sure. We're going to pay for that. All right. Then over here, you get to adjust your commission. So as a listing agent, I don't know, hopefully you're good enough. You can get 3% in this market. Maybe they're only going to give 2% to the seller side, to the buyer side. Okay. So we adjust that as well. Made that adjustment. We come down and say, you know what? My seller's not going to pay for a home warranty. So we adjust that number to 0. All right. Boom. There we go. Now I'm able to see right over here on the other side, the estimated seller's net proceeds, $218,519. right there. Did I have to call escrow?
Mm-mm.
Did I have to wait? No. I had a conversation with the client, at, 11:27, and at 11:30, I had the information that I could shoot it over to them in a what? In a text message, right? I could send it over to them, I could in an email, or I could even print this out, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Great tool that I hope you guys understand. I hope I didn't go too fast on here as to how you can produce a seller's net sheet here on My First Stamp. There are several options that are out there. I have found this one to be just the easiest to use. It gives you everything that you need because it's pulling everything from title from the county. So it knows what the property tax rates are out there. It gives you a good idea of what the escrow fees are going to be, pretty close, so that you can get a very close net for your seller by coming here and using this platform. What you do is whenever you're having that conversation, we've already talked about this in the past, is you pre-qualify your seller. And what do you need? Number one thing that you probably need from the seller in order to produce this document. Who's got the right answer for me? Because I'm trying to get how much you're going to put in your pocket. We've got to deduct what you probably
Oh.
for the home, right? Very good. So you need to ask that question, how much do you currently owe on your home? That's this big little piece right over here that we've already done. Because if I took that off, now I don't know what you owe on the house, right? Those are all zeros, right? 518. Now, yes, they could easily put those numbers in themselves and figure it out, but it's better. It shows that you're asking the right questions. You understand how this process works when you're asking those questions up front. Everybody follow me there?
Yep.
Any questions on what we see here so far on this My First AM?
Not a question, but just a quick comment, if I can just jump in, just to remind everybody, especially if you're new to the business, keep in mind that, as David mentioned, these are estimations only. So I think that by him explaining this process to you guys can get more familiar with some of the customary fees, and the title apps, such as this one or the one that Danny and Joseph mentioned earlier. They are already pre-populating some of the average costs from title and escrow. Now, is everything negotiable? 100%. Is this set in stone? Does this mean this is exactly what somebody's going to pay? No. So because of that, because it's an estimation and you're out there meeting with sellers potentially to list their home and sell their home for top dollar, you want to over deliver. You don't want to under deliver. Correct? So I highly suggest that you get familiar with something such as this platform. So when you're sitting at a house, you can say, well, Mr. Seller, David, let's look at this together. Typically, these are some of the expenses that are going to come associated with the cost of selling the home. But again, I like to, I don't like to overpromise and underdeliver. So I want to make sure and let you know on the right-hand side of the screen there's a section called corrective work. Okay, under other costs on the right-hand side. I always suggest telling them that, look, I like to throw in a cushion or a pad because that according to this, you're going to get supposedly $500,000, for example, right now as an estimate. But let's use something as an ace in our sleeve or a negotiation tool so that if the buyer today is going to request that you fix the gazebo or you fix this or you fix that, you don't have to do anything, but I like to give you an estimate showing that if you pay for all of this stuff, worst case scenario, you're looking at estimating X, right? So let's throw in $2,000 for corrective work. Where it says pest control and all that stuff, like David mentioned, that's just an average. Would you be wrong by putting $150? No, not at all. I mean, if it comes in less than that, you're the star. Right? Your clients are going to love you even more because they're going to say, well, I thought I was going to net 518, but I'm actually going to net, or whatever. I thought I was going to net 500. I actually netted 508 or 509. It's going to be better off for you guys to just not over promise and under deliver. So get familiar with these fees, understand these fees, and the taxes, as David mentioned, that's one of the crucial parts of this. So if you're out there, when you're looking and working with buyers, as David said, working with buyers, they only are concerned with how much is my actual payment, like he said, right? So I don't suggest that you give them a payment and put yourself, you know, kind of hang yourselves to dry there. I always suggest after every showing, if the client says they're interested in the property or want to submit an offer, you get that address to the lender and say, hey, can you give us an updated payment on what the payment will be for the buyer on this particular address? That way they know 100% from the lender, not from you, what their payment breakdown is going to be according to that tax rate. Okay. Now, this tool is wonderful for you to give an estimation, but when working with buyers, have them talk to their lender per address. Now, on the selling side, when you're listing a home, get familiar with these, but overestimate the costs and tell your client that you're overestimating the cost, such as corrective work that needs to be done, may need to be done. So that way, if the buyer asks for something, like let's say the buyer asks for $500 worth of repairs, well, we estimated 2,000. So now the seller has a negotiation tool in their belt. Okay. So I hope that helps.
Excellent point. So thank you so much for sharing that, Felipe. Critical for you guys to, again, overestimate, like even when over here, like say for instance, I have an existing loan and they told me they owe 238, right? Well, I'm probably going to put in 240, right? Again, just averaging up a little bit. I mean, they didn't show me an actual payoff statement, so you know they may be off for a little bit. It's always better for them to get more money at the end than to receive less. It's like, oh, I thought I was going to get, you know, 250 and we got 235. You know, it's kind of depressing to them, you know, discouraging. So, but when they thought they were going to get 235 and they got 250, you know, even 237, whatever it may be, it's more than they anticipated. So again, you're the rock star in being able to provide that data for them up front. All right. And again, this is something that if you're ever going on a listing, any listing presentation that you go on, you're providing a CMA. I always say that you should have a net sheet with your CMA all together. And as opposed to waiting for escrow, who's got a lot on their plate already, to provide that for you, you can come in here, type this up. You're able to do the market analysis on your own. So go ahead and provide this as well. Slap everything together. You're the rock star. You're the agent who knows and understands how this industry works. All right. Rock on. So there is a mobile app for this platform as well, but I want to actually go into, I'm going to dive into the app that I use as well as Danny. And I'm going to jump in, figure out the problem why my screen share didn't work last time with my iPhone, and we resolved it, I hope. Yeah, we did. There we go. All right, so you can see my screen, and the app over here is Fidelity One. Now, lawyers, I think, also uses this. There's a couple of other title companies that use it. I have found this one here to be the best on-the-go app when I'm showing property. All right, over here at the bottom of the screen, you've got your buyer, you've got your seller. There's some calculators that are down here. There's the premium if you want to dive into that, of course, as well. But let's talk about this buyer one. All right, they've added a cool new thing where it says add address. You can go in here, you can click the add address button on there. And so let's go ahead and use that same address, 40061 Milkwood Lane, boom. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and calculate that for me. Estimated annual property taxes, okay, done, thank you so much. It's using a number for the current assessed number, all right? Just so you know that there. So as you see on the screen here, I don't believe I'm able to highlight, but you can see as I just brought up, $3,855. Now this is the annual taxes, but that's not going to be annual taxes on a, let's go on up here, for a purchase price of $550,000. Make sense? Everybody follow me there. That number is going to change. So even though they've made it clear for you to be able to grab this address right here, it's only giving you the assessed value, the assessed taxes. That's going to adjust when they purchase that home. They're no longer going to get it at that rate because it's going to be 1%. I already know, basically, again, looking at this, I know this is wrong because at a $550,000 purchase price, that's $5,500 right off the bat, just at 1% minus any special assessments that may be associated with that property. Everybody follow me? So this right here, this individual, they're doing a conventional loan. Let's just make it simple. They're going to do 20% down. In this market, goodness gracious, trying to get anything else accepted. Their interest rate, you've talked to the lender, they say they're right around that 3 125, right? That's fine. All right, maybe they've got really great credit, so they're at, I don't know, 2.99. Okay, I like to estimate up, as Felipe mentioned, and then the term 30 years. So this hazard insurance, but this is homeowners insurance. They call it hazard insurance, but it's homeowners. It automatically populates at 30.35%, which actually comes out to be quite high actually for what most people are paying. And I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. Again, you don't know what that insurance is going to be because depending on if the home is in like a high fire hazard zone, in a flood zone, that can drastically change what they're going to be paying for their insurance. This is simply an estimate. You need to make sure you just make that clear to them what that estimate be. Because again, you can put in over here a percentage or a dollar amount of what their hazard insurance is going to be. You put in a dollar amount, it's going to be taking the annual amount. All right. If you put in a percentage, and this is going to be a percentage of that year. All right, let's just say that these taxes over here, we're not going to put in a dollar amount. We're actually going to put in a percentage and 1.25. Okay. I'm familiar with this area, so that's the tax rate that's over there. All right. We're going to say that they're going to close on this home a month from now, 25th of June. Hit the done button, hit the compute button. Boom. Now we're able to see what this home's monthly payment may look like. Again, this is an estimate for them to see. So we're looking at this home, we're seeing that our monthly payment, about $2,500 a month, $2,600 a month, they're bringing to close $123,000. Some things that I want to bring your attention to is where the first one down here says P&I, principal and interest. That's not going to change. But the taxes, see that taxes there, $572, that's monthly. On top of that, but you see the insurance also of $160 for insurance, based on the knowledge that I have of the industry, is actually quite high for monthly. This is going to be their monthly payment. So what you can do is you can simply go back down here and you can make an adjustment. Say that hazard insurance is going to be closer to maybe $75 a month or something like that. So that might actually be about, I want to say it's like 20, about $91. So that's going to be a little bit closer to probably what their insurance may be. But again, understand that all properties are not created equal. If a property is in a high fire hazard zone, there's more insurance that's required there, if it's even insurable. If it's in a flood zone, there's more insurance that's going to be required there as well, if it's insurable. Make sure that you're having these conversations with your clients as you give them these estimates. Everybody follow me here? This is an estimate. It says it right there in the top middle of the screen. Very good. And then with this right here, again, this app is so cool, and I think this is the one that Danny and them are using as well. What you'll do is you'll simply tap this top little arrow up here in the top right-hand corner. You see the top right-hand, you'll tap that little arrow right there. From here, I can send my clients what's called a full report. So it's going to open up. I can text this to them. Here's what the breakdown is going to look like for them. They'll see their monthly payment right there. Let's zoom in a little bit there for your monthly payments, right? It's going to show their loan amount here in the middle, what they need to bring to close. All right. All of this gets sent over to them. It's got your information right here at the bottom, super crisp, super clean, 100% professional, right there on the screen. Then over here, it breaks down the buyer's conventional closing costs, so we can zoom in on that a little bit for you guys as well. It's got some associated costs that are there. They can see all that. Once you've got that right there, you just tap that little button again. You can send it to them as a text. You can email, you can send it on Facebook, and of course, all the other options that you see on the screen as well. Super easy for you to be able to communicate to them what's going on. So let's go back to this same property. Let's say that this property was in a high tax area. So they're thinking, oh yeah, 2,500 is good. So we're going to go around the corner and look at a similar property. All right, let's go look at this similar property. However, the taxes over there are quite a bit higher. The taxes over there are 2.5%. So let's go to 2.5%, hit the done button there. Now let's compute and see what that looks like. Look how that drastically changed what their monthly payment was going to be. They were okay with 2,500. They went around the corner and now they're seeing that it's $3,000 a month for that payment. Like, no, we're not comfortable with that. We're not going to shop in that community over there. You as a real estate professional, knowing taxes, right? At least having an idea what those special assessments are, you're able to help them make an informed decision so that they're not running around putting in offers on properties and then they go talk to their lender and their lender says, yeah, the payment on that's going to be like $3,000. They're like, whoa, wait a minute. We don't want that. We're not going to buy that house. Make sense? Any questions on anything that I've covered so far in our training today? What you guys got for me? Any questions? No questions? Everybody's taking this copious notes over there. Right on.
Good.
Again, this is the Fidelity app that I use. It also has some other features that are quite useful for you as well. You can go in here and you can do like that seller's net sheet as well. I don't use this one in here. It just doesn't seem to be as clean. I'm not able to work it as nice as I can for the one that I found on First Am. So it does work that way, at least for me. First Am works really good for the seller's net sheet. This here, because I'm typically out showing property and I'm mobile, this app works much better for me for the buyer's side and what their estimated cost could be. I use both of these on a regular basis when I'm working with my clients. This app also has some cool calculators in here that you can look at, some refis and so forth. We're not going to get into all that today, but just wanted to make you familiar with these platforms and how they operate. Since we are on our mobile device right now, I will jump into real quick and show you that My First Am also has its own app as well. And so if you'll jump into the My First Am app, this one here, if you tap this top left-hand corner over here, you can still get to those cost first pages that we talked about. It populates pretty much the same. You'll go down here, you'll go to that seller's net sheet, and then all the information is still there on the screen as you saw before. So you'll simply type in that address that you were talking about. It's all populated there. You don't have to do much work. You'll grab the Milkwood Lane home. You'll pop it in at $550,000. Hit the done button. We've got the $250 that they're paying off on it. Hit the done button there. And then, of course, all the associated costs are right down there, whatever your commissions are going to be. This guy's going to do 2%. I don't know. Sure, there you go. And we'll just leave everything else the same, as you can see there. Then it's got the the estimated net proceeds there. And then real quick and easy, where'd it go? I think I actually need to have it sideways, believe it or not. Boom. Yeah, once you turn it sideways on the phone, you can see my screen. Then it gives you that option from the mobile platform to be able to send that text message. Then you'll send that text message. I'll show you what this looks like. Okay, we'll send it to myself. 19547 20. The done button there. Hit the send button there. I want you to see what it looks like. So it's successfully sent. Boom. Let's tap into that, see what that looks like. Very good. Here it is. So all you gotta do is tap that little link right there. Boom. Pops up for them. They just have to go down here, hit the click download, a couple little clicks, but then they get it. And there it is for them. Easy to read. Doesn't go into all the detailed line items that you'll see if you print it out on the desktop version, but you're clearly able to see, again, what is those estimated proceeds that they're going to be able to put in their pocket. Right there, you can text it to them. So for us as agents, it's important for us to not only know how to work these desktop platforms, but also the mobile platforms, so that when we're out showing property to our clients, we can easily produce this information. Because the lender, sometimes he or she's a little bit busy, right? And you're not getting perfect numbers, you're getting estimates, but it's great for them to be able to see that home A versus home B is a $500 difference in payment simply because of the special assessments that are associated with it. All we did is we went into the MLS, we saw what they were, we're able to say, okay, the taxes on this one are much higher. Let's go ahead and add that number in. Something that I want to share with you guys. Let me jump back into this app real quick. I think this is actually something that I've used as well. So let me jump back into this app for you guys. I want to show you something. Go. Should be sharing in a second. There we go. Cool. Jump back into this app. Does it go sideways on this one too? Nope, this app only is straight up. Cool. No worries. We go back in here. So if you have you don't know the tax rate. Let's say you didn't go to the county assessor's website, so you don't know what the tax rate is. But I've got a home that's $550,000. So I know that the base tax rate is 1%. So that's $5,500. So I'm like, well, what is the, and I know that the special assessments, when I went on the MLS, told me that it was $3,400 in additional special assessments. So then what you can do is take 34 plus 55 is 89. Is that what that is? Yes. My math's okay. I can put in $89,000 is the total taxes for that home. Everybody follow what I did there? I took the base rate of 1%, add on top of that, which you'll find in the MLS or realist, the realist, you'll see the special assessments that are there. You add those two numbers together, that gives you an idea of where it should be for special assessments on that property. Then you can easily hit the compute button. That's going to give you what you need. Make sense? These are rough estimates, but you're going to be in the ballpark of $100, $120, probably about $100. I would dare to say, and that's what they need to know. They need to know that this home A is $2,600 versus if I went across the neighborhood over here to home B and it's $3,000. We don't want to shop in that community because we don't like the special assessments that are there. And you know that areas that again have high special assessment, Spencer's Crossing. We see that out in Audie Murphy, out in Menifee. We see that up in the northeast side of Lake Elsinore. Some of these communities have higher special assessments. And can somebody tell me why do some communities, what are those fees, those special assessments that they're paying? Why are those there? Why do some homes have them and other homes don't? Who might have the answer for me there? Shoot that out there. Who's got the answer for me? Why do some homes have higher special assessments than others? And what are those costs that they're paying for? Anybody got an answer for me?
Could it be because there's a pool accessible to the community and the landscaping?
Great point there. She says it could be the pool or the landscaping. Great answer. That could typically be associated though rather with an HOA.
Mm-hmm.
But great answer there. HOAs typically that's going to be a cost that they're with. So do take into account that there's HOAs they're going to have to factor in as well. Anyone else have any idea maybe why homes have, Aaron, what you got for me?
Roads and stuff like that?
Due to the construction of roads, development of schools, fire departments, police departments. So you're paying for all of that new development and for all of the emergency services that they have to provide for the community.
Excellent. So Victor was chiming in as well. So thank you, Aaron and Victor. I'm going to share my screen with you guys one more time and you can see it. If you're maybe new to this and you haven't seen it before.
Are you talking about assessments?
Yeah.
Did you mention delinquent trash bills? Those will show up on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me jump back into the matrix for you guys real quick. And here you go. As we were mentioning, so you can see this Menifee right here, United School District, Unified School District, I should say, $1,300 specific to that community. There's the Clinton Keith, whatever, I don't even know what it is, but there it is. And did you know, you can actually go on to the county assessor's website and there's actually a phone number for each one of these. If you pull up the actual property itself, there's a phone number. You can call that phone number or tell your client to call that phone number and they can actually tell you how long that bond is there for and when it will be paid off. Because these won't last forever. All right, but it's because of new construction for those roads, for the new fire departments they're putting in, new schools that they're building. Someone has to pay for all of that. And they figured because you live there and you're going to take advantage of it, why not have you pay for it?
Did you address, David, did you address that it's also considered Miller Ruse? I mean, just in case for the new agents, did you already talk about that?
I did not, but go ahead and speak to that. Yes, indeed.
Just the fact that, you guys, it comes by different names, but the special assessments list, when you're getting the total special assessments that's broken down on realist tax, that's what people are referring to when they say, are there Melrose taxes on this? So that's just a name for the bond that's associated with these special assessments. So again, it's just different name, but it's literally the same thing. You want to have an understanding of how to calculate this because the most common thing that's going to happen is people are going to come to you pre-qualified, ready to purchase something from San Diego, all excited, especially military personnel. Aaron, you know this. They come to you pre-qualified from Navy Fed USAA with, up to $450,000. They can buy a house. But then they get out here, and if you don't calculate or take into consideration those assessments that are higher, that pre-qualification that they have does not take into consideration extra special assessments or HOAs, which I think, I'm not sure if you did say that, David, but HOAs as well. So that $450,000 buyer might not qualify for $450,000 if they get a property that has a $300 a month HOA or a $4,000 a year special assessment. So just keep that in mind.
Critical points to understand what Felipe is sharing with you. San Diego County's got typically lower taxes than we have here in Riverside County. And so for someone coming up from San Diego, even possibly in LA, where these homes are older and they don't have all these special assessments attached to them, when they come out here, they need to be made aware of that so that they don't go out putting in offers on homes later to find out they don't qualify for. All the time you see it on the MLS is buyer unable to perform. Why was the buyer unable to perform? We really don't know. I would dare to say that some of those are the cases where no one did their due diligence to see what property taxes were going to be factored into, and they were pre-qualified, yes, up to 550, 450, whatever the case may be, but they didn't take into account the fact that they were looking in Spencer's Crossing and they had these large special assessments that they had to pay, and it drastically reduced their purchasing power. All right. With that being said, any questions again on any of the apps that we've covered, any of the content that we've covered as far as net sheets? Do you feel confident now what we've gone over?
I learned a lot. Thank you.
Excellent, Victor. Glad to hear that as well. If you have any questions about anything that we've covered, please feel free to reach out to myself. Always willing to help. Amber, Felipe, we're here as the team to help you guys be successful. Get these apps. If you don't have them, download them. Go to the websites, use them, play around with them. Use your home address as an example. Pick something, do it one time so that when you do it with your client, it's not the first time that you've seen it or processed those numbers. Text it to yourself, see how it works so you can see in real time, okay, this is what they're receiving, so that you can explain it to them when they get it. Oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, you have to click the download button. Oh, okay, and then you can go from there. So I hope, again, you guys have found this valuable, and it's going to help you to be more proficient in what you do out there in the industry. Any other questions again before we wrap up?
We're all good. Have a good one, IW. Have a good one.
Absolutely. You guys, appreciate all your time coming out today. Looking forward to seeing you next week on our next training. Have a great rest of your week.